You can now put on a sequence where you press one button. In fact, we've even got it that you don't even press a button. As you get to the headland, it lowers its revs, it drops 2 gears, it starts to pick up the implement, it starts to turn in the most efficient way possible.
It will now take its line again, it will lower the implement, it will kick on 4x4, and off it goes again. Just like that, without touching a button.
It became a problem lifting the dry beans and putting them into windrows. At first we had been doing it by hand, and when the hectares got too much, we actually couldn't keep up. And Valtra came to us and they told us about this awesome implement that they had. The bean lifter needed a tractor that could drive backwards to use it. A lot of guys do it by driving like this, whereas Valtra has twin track.
My next door neighbor flying over in a helicopter couldn't believe that we were working doing everything backwards. One of the questions was, don't you get a crick in your neck? Not realizing that it actually had a steering wheel that faced the other way.
Sadly, the implement didn't handle our soils in KZN, but when we loaded up the bean picker to take it back to Valtra, we decided that the tractor could stay, and that's how we got started with Valtra.
It has turned out to be the most versatile tractor I've ever owned, and something that I've been looking for in a tractor for the last 30 years. I'm Gielie Jacobsz. I farm in the Bergville, Harrismith and Reenen and Swinburne areas. We have a company called MG Jacobsz Farming. We are 5th generation farmers in this area. I'm very, very privileged to have 2 sons farming with me. As it's come down the generations, we can trace this farm back to 1896, and that's where we say we actually started.
Looking more into Valtra and what we could do with our fleet, we ended up getting some BH series tractors. Simple, open station, robust. They've got power, but they can do all the small jobs too. With that, we decided, well, let's look into a planting tractor. And for a planting tractor, we wanted the full spec tractor.
The flagship machine on the farm here is the T235 Versu, operating with all the unlocks available on that piece of kit, giving quite a substantial range of automated features on the tractor. My name is Bray Highland. I'm operating under Valtra. We represent the brand within the KZN region. With the Valtra's sequencing function, you can program it to do all your functions automatically. It works out the easiest, quickest way to turn around, and that increases your efficiency. Your idling time is down and your operating time is up.
We need a very versatile tractor, and I think a lot of South African farmers have been pushed to being very versatile, and diversity is important in the industry at the moment as margins are so low. Every single implement trailer and vehicle, from a wheelbarrow to the biggest tractors, trailers, everything gets costed, and then we at the end of the financial year work out which vehicles are costing too much and which are costing the least. Since going with Valtra quite aggressively recently and going to a more European style farm, we've seen our cost of ownership decrease quite dramatically, and then just the tractor being a lot more versatile, the actual hours of work has increased per vehicle. Our fleet's actually got smaller.
Om te meet is om te weet, and everything is measured and calculated and calibrated and argued and debated.
Just using Valtra tractors, from the Valtra front loaders to the Valtra tractor pulling the mower to the Valtra tractor baling. We even used our Valtras carting the bales around, everything. We ended up making about 500 more bales than what we usually do in a year, and we ended up saving about 4,000 litres of diesel.
So just when it comes to pricing, the pricing of Valtras is very competitive, and compared to a lot of the competitors is cheaper. So that's first, your initial outlay is less, and then looking at your running costs, being very fuel efficient, being able to set the tractor according to application becomes more efficient long-term breakdown-wise, because the tractor is not just running at 100% capacity when it's not needed. And then the same with all the technology that Tom's big on. It all adds up. And being very versatile, the tractor puts on a lot of hours, but expenditure to hours becomes lower. So you can have one tractor instead of 2, or 3 tractors instead of 5.
The way I see it now is that this legacy that I'm leaving behind in this family business is just going to go from strength to strength. Technology is going to play a much bigger role day by day, year by year, season by season. And I think the product that we are using is growing with that technology, and with the backup that we get from Valtra, I'm absolutely sure that it will be possible.